the song came out of, it was like, right, come on, we've got a song, we're doing a single. Get a song together, and it just got patched in from various riffs that people liked.
Now signed to Music for Nations, Cradle of Filth responded to their critics by recording the material they'd hidden away during the cacophonous conflict. Eagerly anticipated, the release of Dusk and Her Embrace was to become an extremely interesting new adventure for the British black metal men. The resulting album of material the band had deemed too good for cacophonous was released on Monday, 18th of November 1996. In preparation, the band spent time revising a lot of the old lineup's material for Dusk and Her Embrace, and also writing 2 entirely new songs. Needless to say, Dusk aired the band's frustration with their previous label situation in an aggressive melting pot of metallic mayhem. Refreshed and completely revitalised, the album's compelling soundscape was provided by the band's strongest member lineup to date, adding guitarists Gian Perez and Stuart Anstis, and keyboardist Damien Gregori to the band's core of bassist Robin Graves, drummer Nicholas Barker, and immortal dark screamer Danny Filth. Featuring some graphically awe-inspiring cover artwork courtesy of famed ghost hunter and photographer Simon Marsden, whose ideology fitted in perfectly with the band's gothic ethos, Dusk and Her Embrace explored at some length Cradle of Filth's morbid fascination with vampire mythology and Victorian and medieval romanticism. Acting more like the soundtrack to the most twisted Peter Cushing horror movie in existence, the cold sweat that the band evoked quickly heated into a maddening torment as they welcomed the listener to the most lavish of nightmares. Unlike most contemporary black metal albums of the time, those that suffered greatly from less than fabulous production, Dusk and Her Embrace was something of an over-the-top, sonically laden gem and stood head and shoulders above the rest. Taking over 2 months to record, it offered a challenge to a scene whose habits were by now becoming far too often uninspiring. But then Cradle of Filth wanted this album to transcend the way a normal album would sound. They were after something almost inhuman, almost like an epic film score. The sort of thing you could listen to whilst watching a Dracula movie with the sound down, or watching something totally cataclysmic like War of the Worlds. As an issue of metal magazine Terrorizer reported, Cradle of Filth have managed to up the ante without sacrificing the essence, namely the music. Produced by renowned mixing man Kit Wolvin, whose illustrious credits include Cathedral and Irish hard rock legends Thin Lizzy, Dusk and Her Embrace captured every bit of Cradle of Filth's darkened musical dexterity. Even further, it contained some of the most ornate metallic creations one could hear this side of Hades. On Dusk, the band sounded much more coherent than on their previous EP, Vampire, Dark Fairy Tales and Palestine, resulting in a bunch of small, medium-length masterpieces bursting with bombastic ideas, but also knitted closely together in perfect harmony. Going straight for the jugular, Dusk and Her Embrace was a full-blown gothic epic of blood-curdling proportions. The music on offer was a fully realised thrash opera, topped off with Danny Filth's trademark eardrum-popping screech, the singing equivalent to steel talons being dragged across the blackest of blackboards. The band were also becoming more adventurous with their song titles. A gothic romance, Red Roses for the Devil's Whore, Beauty Slept in Sodom, Humana inspired to Knightmare, and Malice Through the Looking Glass being just a few of the witty gems on offer. And, to top it all off, the recognisable Cradle of Filth sound shone darkly throughout every single song. Across the Atlantic, Dusk and Her Embrace became the first recording from the band to officially hit American record stores. In a very short period of time, it had sold more copies than all of Cradle of Filth's previous releases put together. Overnight, Cradle of Filth went from being the proverbial jokers of the goth metal pack to the undisputed leaders of it. In response to this popular global demand for Filth product, Dusk and Her Embrace subsequently appeared in 2 special limited edition formats, a digipack bound like a book featuring a cover made of fake leather with the Cradle of Filth logo in silver on it, and a highly collectible coffin box format. Both contained bonus album tracks. The digipack featured Nocturnal Supremacy 96, and the Coffin Box an extra instrumental and a Slayer cover. However, despite the apparent realisation of their commercial aims, further lineup changes ensued as keyboardist Damien Grigori soon departed, to be replaced by Les Lecter Smith.